Everybody good? Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Attorney Tyler Bailey. To my right is Mr. Jarvis McKenzie. Mr. McKenzie, as everybody knows, was an unfortunate victim of just a careless, ruthless targeting as an African-American man on July 17th. And he's never spoken to the media or press before, but he's speaking today. He was motivated to speak based on some recent comments about there being no need for a statewide hate crime bill here in South Carolina. And as a survivor, somebody who went through what he went through, he wanted to speak. And it wasn't easy for him to come to this conclusion because he was worried about his own safety, being targeted by people who are more sympathetic to the accused than they are somebody in his shoes who went through what he went through. We have local ordinances that have hate crime bills, like the City of Columbia. Richland County has one. Irmo's working on one. There are others, but there's nothing statewide. And also there's a federal hate crime bill that helps, or statute that helps, but the state of South Carolina has ignored it. But Mr. McKenzie is going to talk about what he went through. I'll briefly will interject from there. We'll take some questions towards the end, but just be mindful, there is still some active investigations that we believe. There may be a federal indictment possibly of the accused, but we don't know where that's going to go. That was reported in state paper this morning. So I'll let Mr. McKenzie go ahead and tell the story from here.
Hello, my name is Jarvis McKenzie. I'm a resident of the Spring Valley community, a father, a hard-working man, and I also has a past. And on July the 17th, I was targeted, and it will forever change my life and my family's own. I was shot at standing, waiting to go to work at 5:30 in the morning, and I feel that there's something should be done with the bill.
And I'm gonna help lead him through this. So there was some reports saying that he was jogging. Mr. McKenzie gets up super early every morning to go to work. He's been living in the Spring Valley community for a couple years. He gets up every morning to wake up and wait for his supervisor to take him to work. That morning, that's what he was doing. He was waiting. And that's when he saw the shooter, who stopped his car, looked him dead into the eyes. They never met each other before. There was no exchange of words at all. Mr. McKenzie just feeling with his, he takes off and starts running, and he's shot at. And he's a man of few words. And one thing he didn't mention, after he's shot at, he still goes to work that morning. Called law enforcement. He finished working that day. Despite the traumatic experience that he had, it has impacted him. If you could talk a little bit more about how you felt when it happened and when you ran, that would be good for the public to know.
Yeah, when it happened, I was scared, you know what I'm saying? Never had no problems with nobody in the community until then. So, you know, it changes me from here.
After he was shot at, there's a brick wall nearby. He hides behind the brick wall the entire time. He calls his fiance, he calls his supervisor to say to still go to work. And supervisor comes and picks him up. He leaves from behind the brick wall to make sure the shooter didn't circle back to shoot at him again. And then he gets in the vehicle, goes to work. He cooperates with law enforcement when they're investigating it. When he was shot at, there were some words said, "Run, boy, run." From what we know, the accused, when he was interrogated by law enforcement, he said that he was shot at Mr. McKenzie because of his race, him being a black man. And today he's standing up talking, like he said, motivated by where we are in our climate with no statewide hate crime ordinance. And I think it's really courageous for him to do so with the climate and what can happen from here. And so those who are watching, just we appreciate any support from Mr. McKenzie standing up. He's going to take some questions. We're going to talk today, but this wasn't easy for him to come to, for him or his family, who's also worried about their safety now. We'll take some questions briefly, and we'll comment where we can.
What do you do for a living?
I work for the City of Columbia.
What exactly do you do? Anything in particular? Or?
Sewer, wastewater.
And how long have you worked there?
2 years.
And have you lived in that neighborhood for a while?
2 years, sir.
Okay. And it's kind of I think Spring Valley, so it's kind of near where that, is that the spot where you sit? Because it it's easy for the supervisor to come by and
Yes,
get you
sir.
because it's right by 2 Notch, if I remember right. It's really easy to pick you up.
Yeah, so actually I've been standing there for a whole year waiting on my ride to come.
So for a whole year. So this is okay. And I mean, just tell me. I mean, like, do you feel like betrayed in a way? I mean, it had to be like a total shock because, like you say, you just stand there doing your thing and waiting for your boss.
Yes, sir, I really do. And it really affected my family with moving around the residence of my neighborhood.
How did it affect them? What
They're scared.
Scared to, is that your stepdaughter?
Yes, sir.
His stepdaughter, who lives there, they heard the shot happen. So they were wondering what that loud noise was. And she typically would go walking in the morning. She's scared, thinking that she's going to be targeted because of her race. It's something that he would just go to work in the morning. And one thing he mentioned is it's not like he woke up on July 17th and said, you know, I want to be a civil rights activist and come speak out about what happened. He was just trying to go to work. And unfortunately, there was more conversation from there and comments saying there's no need for a state hate crime ordinance. Really kind of, if a law enforcement dog is killed, that is different than if a regular civilian dog was killed. So dogs are afforded more protections than human beings who are trying to get up, go to work, and provide for the family. And that's really what motivated him to speak today.
How has this changed you and your family's morning routine and everyday routine?
It's like, it's hard, you know what I'm saying? Like getting up, going out there, doing the same thing I've been doing. And it's also hard for them, like, you know, we got the same routine. You know, going to school, going to work in the morning, worrying if somebody gonna be outside your house, you know. So it really changed it a whole lot since then.
What are you doing different?
Waiting for the sun to come up, things of that matter, looking out the door, you know, checking around the house and stuff like that, making sure ain't nobody out there, because I don't know who is who now.
And how are you been feeling since the incident?
Strange, you know, feel like somebody watching me or something, you know, that I'm being followed, you know, it spooked me up, really.
And have you ever experienced anything like this before?
Not like that.
And when you found out it was because of your race, do you want to talk about how that makes you feel today? And when you first initially found out he targeted you because of that, what your thoughts were?
It was heartbroken, honestly, you know what I'm saying, because that still goes on. And then in my community, I wouldn't even be expecting for that type of stuff to be still around.
Just piggybacking off of her question about, your boyfriend came out today and speak about and advocate for a push for a statewide hate crime ordinance. What are some of your maybe opinions or things you want to say to still have to
I can't barely hear you.
I was saying, just piggybacking off of her question about your work for to speak out. What are some things that you would still want to say to the state law enforcement still haven't made that push for the statewide hate ordinance?
I think they should really push it so nobody else family will be heartbroken or hurt by the situation of their skin color. So I really think it should be pushed.
And I would say add to that, people are emboldened by the lack of a state hate crime ordinance or bill, because it's a subliminal message that says if you're racist and you want to commit a crime against somebody, targeting them for their race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, whatever it is, you could do it here. And unfortunately, Richland County has this ordinance because oftentimes there'll be crimes that happen, there'll be racial slurs that are used when in furtherance of the crime, and they've been typically have been categorized as an assault or something like that, versus there being a hate crime ordinance to prosecute under. And so those are things that now, with a hate crime bill being there, at least locally, that could be explored and we could deter it from happening more. But without a statewide one, there's no felony. This is a misdemeanor. You get a misdemeanor for littering. You get a misdemeanor from, turning right on red when you shouldn't turn right on red. But hate crime statewide felony bill would mean something. Just like with canines that are in law enforcement versus dogs that are in your backyard. It's saying that we respect law enforcement animals. We need to show the same respect and dignity of those who are being targeted because they are a minority in whatever reason they are. But more questions, I'm sorry for ranting on with that.
All right. Have you gotten any indication from the U.S. Attorney's Office that they may be pursuing federal charges?
Yeah.
You got no information?
I have heard that they are looking into it. So my assumption is that they're considering possibly bringing some charges. And there was an article in the state paper today. I'm not sure if the U.S. Attorney's Office or anybody else has commented on it, but from chatter that I've heard from different sources, I think they're looking at it, at bringing one. And I think me and Ms. McKenzie will welcome any prosecution that's going to deter this from happening to others. And also, there has to be some culpability, responsibility for what happened to Ms. McKenzie.
Mr. McKenzie, as an African-American man, at what point did you realize this was because of your race? Was it when he looked you in the eye? Was it when he said boy? At what point did you go, oh no, he's coming after me because I'm black?
When he said run, boy, and when he looked me in my eye, I seen the cold stare that he had, so I knew automatically that something wasn't right.
And what are some words that you may have for the suspect, that are the person that shot at you?
Can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all.
No, I really don't know.
How's the community been towards you? I mean, like, after it's happened?
Well,
Neighbors, everything.
he hasn't spoken out previously about it. There's people who know who are close to him, but there hasn't been an outpouring of support from the community because he's been really keeping it to himself outside his family and friends who know that it's him. So I think the community should rally behind him with this for stepping out. If there are going to be social media comments, please comment, that you're in support of Jarvis McKenzie stepping up and using the platform and using his trauma to try to make better good for everybody else. And if you're not going to comment like that, keep that to yourself. But if you want to speak more on the outpouring that you've received, go ahead.
I kind of meant like neighbors or, community, subdivision that you live in. How there been any changes there?
Have you seen the video that the sheriff's office put out where, from the security camera, where he's in the car and he shoots at you?
I just seen the one on the news.
How'd you feel when you watched that? It had to be like
It's heartbreaking. To know that I get up every morning, I stand there, not knowing if he had seen me before, you know what I'm saying? Standing there for the whole year, it's like, it's heartbreaking.
And since the passing of the ordinance for Richland County, unfortunately, you were the first one to be under this framework. So
Mhm.
what does that kind of mean for you? How does that make you feel that you're the first one since
I mean, I didn't ask for it. It's just, something that happened. I was just put there, it just happened to me. So I really can't say how I feel about that.
Any other questions? Well, we appreciate y'all coming out to hear from Jarvis. And if y'all hear anything from any law enforcement agencies, we would appreciate y'all getting back to us if y'all get any comment from any other about what they're going to do with this. And we still want to encourage people to contact your legislator. The upcoming legislation session will be starting in the next year to tell them to support a statewide hate crime bill. We need one here in South Carolina. Thankful for all the local governments who are looking into it. I believe Irmo Town Council just had their first reading yesterday. Orangeburg just passed their Orangeburg County passed their county ordinance not too long ago. The local government is stepping up to fill the void that the state needs to do, and keep Mr. McKenzie's family and himself in your thoughts and prayers, because it wasn't easy for him to come to this conclusion to speak today. And I'm thankful that he did this too. And just stay tuned to hear more as things develop.
The Richland County, it can add up to 30 days to the sentencing. That's just not enough.
Clearly ain't enough. I mean, it's a misdemeanor. It's up to 30 days. Most misdemeanors are fines. I believe the solicitor's office is going to prosecute it, but most misdemeanors, they'll be heard in magistrate court, not in general sessions. And 30 days for targeting somebody because of their race, I mean, that's nothing. Most misdemeanors, you just pay a fine. So what are we saying here? That you could target somebody, whether it's brandishing a firearm, whether it's road rage, different things, just because you disagree with their race, their sexual orientation, their gender, their religious affiliation. What are we saying? And I don't really think that the people of South Carolina are like that. For some reason, the legislators just buying into some age-old belief that they just need to have South Carolina be one of the only 2 states in the country without a statewide hate bill. That doesn't speak for who we are as South Carolinians. So 30 days is nothing, and ignoring it is worse. Do we want to stand out because of that, or we want to stand out for our great people, beautiful cities, our beaches, our landscape? Those are things we should stand out for, not being a draconian state without a statewide hate crime bill.
And since this is an active push to raise awareness for, what would you want to see done, especially done once it does potentially pass?
A lot of change in the community, a lot of change amongst everybody in the community, basically.
And are you worried now, since you are brave enough to speak up, are you now worried about possibly
Well, every time you speak, the loud trucks go by. So I think you were asking, is he worried about the safety for his family?
now that he's spoken out in bravery?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Are you working probably with police to maybe have some safety towards, or it's kind of the issues that you really like to see?
Well, unfortunately, we live in a racist world, all right, where there are still some people who just have vitriol in their heart. That's not the majority of people, but there's a radical super minority who could feel like they should target Jarvis for using his voice. So he will be protected by supporters of his. So I would encourage people not to come around him to try to do anything violent. But he's focused on living his life, going to work. And if anybody try to come through him, they got to get through me, and I'm not going to go down easy. Thank you. Thank you, y'all.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.